Yes, this is Tippy I. The time has come for the Lions to tell our own story. You're listening to the Lion's Voice vlog. Respect and love from St. Croix VI to the world. Rastafari.
The time has come for the lioness to tell her own story.
Yo, this is Plaga Benz and time have come for the lion to tell them one story. This is the Lion's Voice. Stay tuned.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice, Rastafari.
Greetings, this is Warrior King, and the time has come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the lion's voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use I as an instrument to set the people free. Jah give her the powers to chant. Jah give her the powers to chant. Rastafari, the lion's voice.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jaja soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up Lamb's voice. Now put it, I jolly for say that.
Now drop your guard when it come to them, ya youth, yeah. Them fully guard up and them quick fi execute, yeah. Now drop your guard when it come to them, ya youth, yeah. The one will laugh, I'm same one of the shooter. Watching them, this is Rastafari representing for the Lion Voice Network. This is the time when the lion gets to tell our own story. I Haile Selassie I.
I'm Nana Farika. The time has come for the lioness to tell her story from her viewpoint and tell the world who Queen Omega is. This is the lion's voice.
Yeah, David Dread of Steel Pulse, and I'm saying hail to the lion voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
Well, lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion voice.
This is culture sound, a Rastaman sound, positive sound.
Culture sound system with DJ Culture Fire TG.
And now you're in tune to the culture sound, Rasta sound.
Culture sound because of DJ Culture Fire TG.
I help coming from the true living eyes, Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I, who created Zion and earth. He shall not suffer and I foot to be moved. I hold, he that keepeth Ethiopia shall neither slumber nor sleep. Well, youths in the streets right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. One bad police right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. No justice, no peace right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. The fire now cease right now, riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. The youths them rise against brutality, man a kill another man for your salary. Them train them at the shooting gallery, black and loot, you might lose all your family. Them defend white supremacy, so them see the African as them enemy.
Yeah, I'm gonna say culture sound
like this for centuries, them sick mentally. That's why we have the out in the streets right now. Riots in your town now, Babylon them burning down. One bad police right now.
What do you have to tell the people about Ras Tafari?
Light to the world. The king of kings and the conquering line of the tribe of Judah. I left himself. Hey yo, yeah, hear them high, hear the black king on the 23rd of July. So tell them guy who praise God up in the sky, it's a lie. The Almighty now your night. From ancient time them a try, them Romans know them just open them suit and ties. Criminals ain't got no alibi, they stole my people. Then them come without them genocide.
Are you talking about slavery?
Them couldn't kill. The lion will come conquer Judah tribe. Go through tribulation, and I strive, see sufferation, and I still rise. That's why we tell them, in America, live Rastafari in every ghetto area. We come to tell them, in a Toronto, straight at it. Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of his chosen queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka the Chasmatch Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man, creative industry attorney. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of Lion Talk Live. Welcome to Lion Talk Live, and welcome to the Lion Voice Network, where the lions are telling our own story. Tonight's episode, we're going to have a serious conversation about development, progress, forward movement, because we love to talk about history, Black History Month, all of these things, but how can we harness that great history and legacy to actually move us forward on the path of development? That's our topic tonight, and we have the perfect guest, the president of the I-niversal development of Ras Tafari, and I'm biased because I'm one of the founding members of the I-niversal development of Ras Tafari, so I want to be transparent. I can't be unbiased tonight. This is one of I true love. Idor, and many of ones will know the works of Idor. We'll talk about it. The current president is with us tonight. But before I go into all of that, we have a serious emergency that has arisen in Jamaica. As the IDEM know, this platform, we're creating it to be a community hub, of information. This is not I platform. I am the curator that has been called by His Imperial Majesty to rise it in this time. But it's a service community. And we have a brethren who has been on the platform, no stranger to the platform. I'm going to bring him forward to talk about there's been a major fire in downtown Jamaica, 10 families displaced. So we're seeking assistance. We know we have a sizable Jamaica audience, I see in the analytics. So I'm going to bring forward I brethren Ras Tafari to come and just give us an update, what happened, give the family some update. Before we bring in the guests, we just want to make sure that we as a community are responsible for each other. No one is coming to save us, family. That is one thing that we're sure about. Again, I want to make this platform a platform where ones can come, share. The collective will, give information how ones can support. If it's not, funds, it can be in kind. Ones in Jamaica can go, help out the situation. So please welcome Ras Tafari to the platform, Lion Voice, and let us get that information. There I can unmute thyself, King.
Blessings, King and family, everybody worldwide. Blessings, family. who like watching blessings is in the name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I and His Divine Empress, Empress Wetiga Menenai the First, Wazir I. Give thanks. Later, look on. I say, look, it's alright.
Yeah, man. I mean, we could
Alright.
have seen a little more in the frame so we can see the eye fullness, but everything island we hear the eye. It's clear. All right. So give us an update. What happened, and how can ones be of assistance?
Well, first and foremost, there was a major fire that occurred on the base of Fleet Street, starting to about the base, meaning it is the top leading to the seafront, leading to Port Royal Street and actually Harbour Street. So coming up from that direction, the fire was more in the community. Blessed love. So it affected about 10 families. And the section which got affected leading on from Fleet Street, occurring onto Lad Lane itself. So it's a next lane. So the fire itself engulfed a whole section itself going onto our next lane. So as I mentioned, 10 families, including about each family inclusive about 4 to 5 individuals. You know what I mean? One of our actual members, a part of Lifeyard organization, he got actual damage, went and see the situation of the community and the state of the whole fire in between both Fleet Street and the Lad Lane vicinity. And it was a horrible sight, you know what I mean? He was telling me that he had to, get rest somewhere else, so he's out of simple toiletries and, even clothing. Some people could manage to save some of their furniture and stuff like that. Some couldn't, food itself, documents, at least no one was hurt still. We're grateful for that and we'll give ISIS for that more so than anything else. You understand me? So that no life actually get lost in the fire, no one was hurt, no children specifically, no elderly at all, So we're grateful for no life, no loss. But the state and the condition of the actual place is very, very, it burned completely to the ground. It's just shell, Shell. Luckily that there was no, excess amount of cylinders and gas cylinders where they blow off and could affect more and more families just the same. So it's a good section amount of it. So right now we're actually rallying around the families to hear what they need, the necessities, whether it's toiletry, as we say, cash or kind. It don't mean say cash necessary, but they can email us or contact us. You can contact me personally at 304-3809. That is Lifeyard number. Or you can email us at lifeyard360 just the same. Just to can even get in touch to understand what is necessarily needed for the people in the community. As well as those who here in Jamaica and actually familiar with the community and familiar with myself individually can give me a call, pass through the community, hear what the situation is like, and be a helping hand when it can be, anywhere, any situation, in the situation I should say. And just give us strength. You see it. It's not every demand of the item, but it's a pressing matter where, children are involved, they are disoriented from their regular life of sleep routine and such forth, eating routine and all them things, just the same as their parents, our guardians. So in that regards, we look forward for even the ones who have the time and even have the kind of the cash, can come through and contribute, I tribute, and just make the strength be felt and make a voice be heard just the same.
Give thanks, family. And I want the I know this is the I platform. Keep us posted. I'm gonna bring the I forward for give us updates, what's happening. And I want the family, because I know a lot of influential ones watch this platform. Tap in with the brethren. Sometimes it's not money or cash, it's just even a presence. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
To that morale, you know what I mean? Sweep something, pick up a shovel, you know what I mean? Anything can help. So tune in, let us show, because this is part to I of Rastafari responsibility within a community, you know?
Part of the creed.
You know what I mean? And it's important that ones who are not Rastafari see the brethren that Life Yard is a Rastafari centric organ. And it's important that they see us in the community doing work. So I applaud the I for the work that Life Yard has done and is doing, continues to do. And you will always have a platform here, my brother. To
blessings, Ashe.
And again, keep an eye posted. So any final sound, give the contact information one more time.
Yes, you can contact me at Life Yard primary number 304-3809 or our email, home-based email at lifeyard360@gmail. That is LIFEYARD360@gmail.com. So again, the item can send an email request or even a call, and just to find out and shout out thanks to the Lion Voice, the RMO community, the Rastafari initiative, support from families and even supporting partners that has been supporting the community and even Rastafari endeavors throughout this time. So again, give thanks, and going forward into this interview, hope that them lock in and actually listen to what Brother John have to say is an ideal, inspirational episode about to take place right here. So one that them lock in, as well as give thanks to Ras Kwasi this much. Give thanks again for the actual platform, for the presence and voice the actual news and spread it on a wider spectrum to the community as well, and grateful for ancestry. I'm grateful to the Most High Emperor Haile Selassie I. Yeah, Rastafari.
This is the role of Rastafari independent non-aligned media, is to provide a platform we can spread news and strengthen each other. So family, Lion Pride, those who are watching live and those who will see this on the replay, contact the brethren, see what assistance is necessary. 10 families, roughly 50 people, homeless, downtown Kingston, Jamaica. It was nice, you know what I mean? And you're gonna see more of this type of content on the channel. We're in serious times, chaotic times, and we have to use these platforms to really bring us together. In this Armageddon, you know what I mean? No one is coming to save us. I keep saying that. So
nobody.
Give thanks, Rasabuki. Come forward. We're gonna bring the eye forward in due season, just to give an update and to continue to keep the word going, so we don't leave these families just without that strength. You know what I mean? So give thanks, Farai.
Give thanks. Blessed
love, Rastafari. All right, family. So that was Rasabuki from Life Yard, Southside, Kingston, Jamaica. It's an inner city community. Life Yard has been doing some exceptional work from urban agriculture, from the painting of murals, you know what I mean, paint up the neighborhood, doing cultural tours, turning, creating an inner city economy. And these are Rastafari youths. Again, we challenge the narrative that Rastafari is not doing work. Work is being done. We just never had the platforms to highlight the work. So we have a whole heap of content with Rasabuki. You can go forward and watch those episodes of Life Yard, and then Rasabuki with tonight. We had a powerful reasoning on the new year. Those episodes are on the channel, so go and check them out. We just dropped our third clip from our Janine interview about how she went to Tanzania, so check that out on the channel. That's live. That came out today at noon. And then we just dropped our first clip from our interview with TPI Grade out of See It Cry. So go check that out. We're not stopping. We're fully loaded with content to be released. We're getting ready to go into March. Special episode with legendary Ethiopian filmmaker Haile Garima coming March 1st. We're talking about his sequel to the Battle of Adwa. He's producing a documentary on the Italian invasion of Ethiopia. Very critical of His Majesty, but you know, one of I teachers, so it's a fascinating reasoning that's going to drop SATA on the Battle of Adwa. We also are starting our Women History Month programming. So the whole month of March is just Rastafari Sistering on the channel. We just take the whole month, the lives, interviews will be Sistering, Lion Talk, pre-recorded will be Sistering from all over the spectrum, you know what I mean, of Rastafari world. So stay tuned for that content. It's going to be a powerful. If you're not subscribed to the platform, please subscribe. We are growing. We're not growing as rapidly. We were doing 1,000 subscribers every strong. We've slowed down, and that's Isla. As a content creator, you'll get hills and valleys, you know what I mean? We slow down, but we're still growing rapidly. Over 28,000 in the Lion Pride. Currently, we're coming toward 30,000. We're going to do a special episode. We're planning that now. We're already in touch with the guests. Special episode for the 30,000 coming up. And I have to big up all of the Lion Pride. And if you subscribe, you're part of the Lion Pride. This is a movement. This is a uprising. This is history in the making with this platform. Again, it's not just I'm just the curator that was called by His Imperial Majesty to bring together the global family. And we're doing it. Over almost 1,000 pieces of content on the platform. We're getting ready to celebrate our 3rd year anniversary. Straight posting every day to show the consistency and what hard work can deliver. So I give thanks. I couldn't do it alone. Lion Pride. Big up the Lion Pride on Patreon. We are in our 100 Lion Pride Strong campaign. We're going to do that until April 1st. So if you want to be eligible to get the consultation with I, the one-on-one, I'm helping everyone who comes in over the $10 a month range to build their own creative ecosystem. I've been having some fascinating reasonings with the Lion Pride and Patreon brethren, them scheduling them and some beautiful channels and ecosystems are rising up. So I full joy working with the ones them, and the concept is that we want to have a network of platforms, not just but we want to have a network of successful Rastafari-centered channels so that I can go and interview on their channel. They can come on I channel. We can share. You know, I can send Rasta Boki, go check that one there. Go check that one there, and we can get out the word. We're creating a network unto ourselves. If you look at the Latin community, they have it. If you look at Indian community, they have it. Every community that's thriving has their own media ecosystem. We are developing it in front of your eyes right now, and the items are apart. You took your time out from your Wednesday night to watch, and I'm very thankful. And you're spreading the word, and you're sharing. But we do need people to come and join us in the economic engine. We want to scale up. I just got a camera. I have to buy the lens. The lens, them expensive, man. I tell the family. It's very expensive. So we need that strength from the global family coming. We want to scale this so we can hire staff, correspondence, travel, the whole works. Where you see us today is not where we're taking this thing. This is built from the ground up. Go forward and watch the first episode. You'll see where we're coming from. We've come far, but we're still in the early warm-up, family. We want to have our own Rastafari cartoons, our own Rastafari blockbuster films, our own documentaries, our own news broadcasts, with Anchor, Man, file footage and Al Jazeera type thing are going and them thing there as a Rastafari media operation. We want these things, but we have to pay for it ourselves. No one is coming to save us. Unity, does not mean uniformity. So these are the chants. So join the Patreon, become part of the economic engine again. Up until April 1st, we are offering one-on-one consultation, 14 consultations with I, and it's powerful. We also want to big up our Ubuntu Lion Pride. That's a one-time attribution of over $70, and you become part of the Ubuntu Lion Pride. You saw the lions on the Serengeti at the beginning. You get your family name. You can get your business name there to be part of the Ubuntu Lion Pride. I am because we are, the strength. And if I get 10 Ubuntu Lion Pride, that pay for the camera, right? That's a lens and lights I have to get. Because we are going to be doing some traveling this year. I'm going to Africa this year, hopefully the Caribbean, to get some on the site. If you look at the Tippy high-grade interview that was on location in St. Croix, I don't think they will love to go. And we want to also go and capture some of the elder testimonies before they transition from the physical. So we need that strength so we can go on these missions and make sure that on the second largest search engine on the planet, YouTube, these testimonies are there. A little youth in Zambia can now watch Mama Fire testimony and hear about Waterhouse and the Gully Bank in 1963. You understand? From the person who lived it. This is the power of the age that we're living in, this digital age, the dissemination of information, the age of Aquarius, the age of knowing. This is the power. We have to harness that power, do the work. So become part of this network. Big up the Action Lion Pride. Those who don't spend $1, but they like, they comment, they share, they're active. They are taking action to make this thing work. I couldn't do it by myself, you know what I mean? So the item are the power of this platform. Big up the Watch and Peep Lion Pride. The watchers, they don't comment, they don't do nothing, but they're watching. Over 30,000. We reach up to 50,000 at a point. We're at about 33,000 right now. Ones who are watching, unique viewers in the last 28 days. A whole heap of people that, you know what I mean? And then the peepers are the ones who just come with bad mind and see if we pop down. We big up them, man. They're part of every ecosystem. However, as I said, if you don't come in a respectful manner, you will get banned from the platform. We don't have time for distraction. So come respectful. If you disagree, this is not a yes man factory. You know what I mean? If you disagree, we love it. Bring your source, bring your reasoning, and we sharpen. That's how we grow. So we're not stranger to that, but make sure you're respectful to everyone in the ecosystem, so we can have intelligent, high-level reasoning. Big up Ras Lidge and Ramia King Design. When you see me a sip Rastafari business, we're supporting Ras Lidge, Ramia King Design. Support the thing, Wally King's Ras Wolde, CMOS Life, graphics and design. Big up all of the sponsors. If you have a small business and you want to become a sponsor of the channel, you want to run a commercial on the channel, reach out to us. We have competitive pricing. We'll work with your budget. We're building right now. Is the best time right now to connect with I because we are building. So if you have a product that you want to reach this niche audience, Rastafari, Pan-African audience, reach out and we can see what we can do. All right, so housekeeping out of the way tonight. We are going to have a nice reasoning. We're talking, this is our final live for Black History Month, but we don't want to just revel in history. We want to see how we can harness history to push forward our development. So I thought the perfect guest would be the president of the I-niversal development of Rastafari. This is a brethren that I've known since I was in university. Brethren used to pass through the Naya Binky House in Washington, D.C., but I didn't get to know him till later on. One of my closest brethren, his family. You know, when a brethren become family, his first trip to Africa, I was honored to accompany him and his queen on their first trip touching down in Mother Africa. This brethren is my neighbor in Africa. We bought land together to show you the levels of love and unity that we share. The brethren is my neighbor in Ghana, so you know we land right side of each other. You know what I mean? So we're gonna talk about that repatriation and the practical reality. The brethren went and stayed in Ghana for a month plus and walk barefoot, and we'll hear all of these things. You know what I mean? He's a brethren out of Spanish Town, Jamaica. Many in the Washington D.C. know the brethren has helped so many ones. His queen has recently passed for us. We did a small tribute here on the platform. One of I greatest supporters. You know what I mean? That was a tragic moment. And we always honor her memory as well. I know his youths, them from there were little youths too. So, family, I want the item give a warm welcome to a brethren who, you know, when they say you don't have to have dread to be Rastafari, this is one of the ones, you know, we have ones where we know said them thing that is true, because this brethren don't have locks, but in terms of the works and the Rastafari Creed and the healing of His Majesty, brethren set the bar so high. You know what I mean? It rough for enough people out there. You know what I mean? And we have that here in Washington, D.C., you know, so we know what we are talking about. So, again, help I to welcome President of the I-niversal Development of Rastafari, Brother John Sr. Greetings.
Greetings, I love it. What a majestic introduction. We give thanks for it, beloved. Everything there is true. And there is truly I brother and I neighbor. And I love the idea, I know that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I give thanks for the opportunity to be here on the Lion's Voice, you know.
I had to put on my Ghana gear for the eye.
Yes, I want to look for it and I say, maybe I should just go get I one as well. Yes, I will give thanks, you know. So, you know, I greet I immunity, you know, in the most worshipful names of His and Her Majesty, His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I, and His chosen Queen, Empress Wazira Menin Asfa, Negos and Negis, King and Queen of Ethiopia, Rastafari. Yes, Judge Mas, I give thanks to the Judge Mas Kwasi and for the Lion's Voice, for the opportunity to on this platform. I give thanks for that, you know, and I urge the community to go out and support the Lion's Voice. And the Most High blessing will continue to bring forward substantive content from the beloved. I give thanks to that. Lion's Voice Network. Go now, my family. Donate. Yes,
yeah,
help us.
Yes, that's the only way we can be independent truly, you know, because once you start depend on sponsorship, then the sponsors them get too much talk. All right, so I want to follow the tradition, and I want the eye to step in the heretical lion talk live time machine and take us to the moment of the eye birth. You know, where was the eye born? Set the context. We want to hear the Brother John origin story, you know, set the scene for us.
Yes, I was born in Spanish Town, Jamaica. We call it Spain Town. You know, for those who are Spanish Townians, know it as Spain. When you talk to a Spanish Townian, you have to discuss the Spain. You know, so you know you're a real Spanish Townian. You know, yeah. So I grew up in Spanish Town, born and raised there all my life. You know, yes, my parents, my father was passed on now a few years, but he was a stalwart in the town, you know, a justice of peace and very influential man, you know, as I am as I self, you know, a man who was a giver, you know, yeah, man. So I come up from that pedigree, yeah, man. I give thanks. I love it.
Yes, and then what about the I Mother special?
Yes, I Mother also has transitioned to the ancestral realm as well last December. You know, she has transitioned and had moved on to the ancestral realm. She, you know, I myself is a second generation Rastafari because my mother was a first generation Rastafari. She cited the liberty at 7 years young. You know, she she was ostracized from her home because of that. You know, she shared with I that during them Iowas, she would have to get her hair pressed and comb and, you know, them kind of way they're ready for church on Sundays and, you know, stuff like that. And one Sunday she was a Catholic, you know, her mother was a Catholic. So she decided she can't deal with that liberty anymore, you know. At 7 years old, she walked away, you know, and her mother took her shoes and stuff like that. So she had to walk barefoot for a while too. And her grandmother took her in and nurtured her, you know. And from that time, you know, she walked that liberty of Rastafari. She hailed the king. Yes, so I am grateful for her to have brought that light to I man as well. Yes,
what year was the I born in?
The 1962.
Okay.
Yeah, January 1962.
So today Spanish Town is known as a very volatile area. Was it volatile in that time, or what was it like growing up in Spanish Town in the 60s and the 70s?
Spanish Town has always been that way. I love it. You know, the city, the town has not changed very much from that way. You know, Spanish Townians are very aggressive, you know, ones, and we come up under the Paul Bogle regime. You know, we see gang. You know, so we see some very militant people throughout our lives. You know, so Spanish Town has always been that way, beloved. You know, we've been some strong people, resolute, yeah, and very, very solid soldiers.
Okay. And how did you avoid falling into the pitfalls of badness and those temptations?
Well, to be honest, beloved, I never avoided it.
Okay.
You know, it found I.
Okay.
You know, yeah, for a few years, you know, I have walked that road.
Okay.
You know, but it is Majesty that brought I forward. You know, I have a brethren that I have to give credit to. He has passed on now to some years now. You know, brother George Morrison, they will call him Totty.
Okay.
Great footballer, you know, very great footballer. And he was instrumental in moving I to the next, you know. I used to go and check him on Saturdays, you know, sabbatical, whole a local Sabbath with him and thing. And he would share with I different books and manuscripts about His Majesty, you know. So I learning from that brethren from a tender age of about 16 coming up, you know. One of the first books that brethren put in I on is a book called Ethiopia, the Unknown Revolution. And one Saturday I go check the brethren and him said to him, Johnny, and did I read this book, you know. And I was there alone with him, you know, as it was many Saturdays, because I would spend my Saturdays with the brethren, you know what I mean, trying to learn at his feet as an Orthodox Rastafari, you know. And I'm a great footballer because I wanted to play football too. I play a little football too, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, man. Those who know brother Jackson, you know, footballer too, and family of footballer, you know, is a footballer. Yes,
so I learned at his feet, you know. Yeah, man, but Toti, yeah, man, when he gave me that book, you know, the Ethiopia, the Unknown Revolution, written by a Cuban colonel, you know, who was fighting the revolutionary battle with the Dergs, you know, against His Majesty in 1973-74. So in that book, when I read that book, brethren, I'm like, yo, the brethren I teach about His Majesty, I teach the love of His Majesty and all these great things about His Majesty. But when I read the book and the brethren discredit His Majesty and the different things he has to say about His Majesty. It wasn't quite wholesome with I. You know, I look at it and like, boy, I can't really settle with this. You know what I mean? Might as well me go forward into because I grew up in the Seventh-day Adventist church as a youth, you know. Don't know how many Sabbath school I've been to, but I know I was present a few times. My parents sent me, I hope my family member them now watch and see.
I see someone with an Uncle John. Hold on there. Anywhere Brother John going, family dead, you know, he's a family man. Hold on there. Me find a sister-in-law, Christine.
My favorite sister-in-law. Give thanks, my favorite sister-in-law. You know you are.
Man,
much love. But yeah, man, we grew up in the Seventh-day Adventist church, you know, because my mother and stepmother was Seventh-day Adventist, you know. Yeah, but I would just go to leave the house and pretend to go to church. You know what I mean? But we always find other things to do.
Okay.
You know, and one of the things that I would do is like, we know church over at a certain time. You know, so I would just lay wait that some of the brethren them were coming from Sabbath school, and I would ask them who preached today and what was the subject about, you know. So I have the information to go forward at home. Because you have to have that information to make sure that you went to Sabbath school and no place else, you know. So that's how we used to do it for years. And, you know, so we run the street and, you know, we learn the streets and we grew up on the streets them kind of way there. Okay. So we understood the liberty and the living on the street. So we grew up knowing the situation of Spain Town.
Yes, serious.
Back to that book still. You know, when I read the book and I explained that to the brethren, I said, boy, you know, I after reading this book, I couldn't follow Haile Selassie I. You know what I mean? But then I said to him, I said, while reading the book, the blank spaces between the lines is that where I was getting inspiration from. Because it's like the author was pouring out his soul. But as a communist, him couldn't really say the things him really wanted to say. You know what I mean? Because it would look bad on him as a communist to highlight His Majesty in such a wonderful light. You know, him couldn't shed that beautiful light on the king. So him had to code it. And I found the code and I unlock it through those blank spaces, you know, between those lines, beloved. And I may tell him, I share that with the brethren and him say, boy, I tell you something. It's the same thing I get when I first read this book, you know, Brother Johnny. Same thing I get. And this is a seasoned Rastafari.
Yes.
You know, Orthodox brethren baptized in the Orthodox Church out down at Hope Road there, and things like that. So you know this brethren, when I'm sharing this with I sharing the same thing with them, you know it is real.
Yes.
Yeah, man. So and that's when I really understand who Haile Selassie I is. You know, and it's not. You can't read about him and get connected to him. You know, he has to search out your heart and find your heart. I mean, yeah, man.
So explain to us, you know, how did I see the divinity of His Imperial Majesty? Because this is a question everyone have their own interpretation. How does the eye see the divinity of His Imperial Majesty?
Yes, it took I several years to reach to that level.
Yes.
To overs that Haile Selassie is Ivine. You know, because like I said, growing up in the Adventist church, you know, you learn about Jesus Christ and the disciples and all these different things. So you put Jesus Christ on a pedestal. You know, so you can't put a man that you just see recently on that level, you know. But it took me a while, and His Majesty revealed Himself to me a couple of times, you know, and understanding what the Godhead is and what the understanding of what God is. God is a new concept to us. It's a 8th century phenomenon, you know.
Yes.
You know, African people, we as a people collectively never look at it as like gods. You know, we're spiritual people, Jehovah's, and so we understand that whatever God is, that essence can embody flesh, you know. So when I read the selected speeches as a young youth at 17 and understanding these powerful words coming out of this ordinary 5-foot man, you know what I mean? It was touching, because I'm like, wait a minute, I can relate to the Bible, to what I'm reading from His Majesty's speeches. These powerful messages, these wisdom or wise mind coming from the prophets and philosophers of the biblical and biblical scholars. You know what I mean? So when I read these things, I'm like, man, this is quite similar. It's basically the same thing. So I'm like, so, and then when as a youth we hear about the Queen of Sheba visiting Solomon, and we see those things in the Bible. We hear His Majesty crowned as the King of Kings, and we see that in Revelation. So I man start to put these things together and connect these dots, you know, and understand that, yeah, this man is Ivine, because if he's Ivine, I am Ivine. You see, because we are all gods and children of the Most High. So Haile Selassie become the Most High for I. Give thanks.
Give thanks. And that is so crucial for the I. Before we talk about your transition to the United States, I want you just give us an opening touch of the I love story, because the I have one of the greatest love story in the history of love. You know what I mean? I want the I just give us a little touch, because the love started Jamaica, although it traveled a foreign. Your queen that, you know, Mama Pauline, who we love dearly. Anyone who meet Mama Pauline is to know her, is to love her, you know. And talk to us about that initial meeting, the seed. We're gonna weave this love story. We're bubbling the sip right now, fam.
Yeah, it is truly a love story, my beloved brother. It is something that that I wish for everyone to have experienced at some point in their life. You know, we truly loved each other. She loved I dearly. I loved her dearly. You know, we grew up together. You know, I met her, as you talk about our early childhood. You know, I lived with my mother till I was 6 years old, and then I moved to my father's home, and I met my stepmother and my older brother, who was living there. My older brother was first time I'm having a older sibling, you know what I mean? Because I'm the eldest from my mother. And so when I went to my father's home and met my big brother, man, it was very special, you know. A shout out to Keith. That's his wife that just made that's the Christine. Yeah, man, Keith. Love him, love your brother. Much love to you. But yeah, so when I came to my father's gates at 6 years old, you know, I remember seeing Pauline there. I remember seeing Pauline there, you know, and her brother, Donald, who became my best friend too from them time there, you know. And so we played a lot. You know, I fought with her a lot, you know, as a youth, you know what I mean? You push her around because she's a female, so you just push them around, you know what I mean? The macho thing as a youth. You know, and I wasn't an ordinary youth, because remember, I'm coming from the hard knocks of the streets. You know, I grew up in Thompson Pen. You know, those who from Spanish Town would know Whole Road. Whole Road was like today would I say the garrison. So this is some of the hardest parts of Spanish Town, even to today. Jones Avenue, them place there, man, raise up. You know what I mean? So we know the toughest of the toughest. You know, we're in those streets with them. You know, I grew up with all of them. You know, side by side with all of them, brethren. You know what I mean? Toughest of the toughest. So when I'm coming to my father's gates, it was different. You know,
your father was in Spanish Town too, or
I was in Spanish Town at Young Street.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can imagine a youth that come from the ghetto. We're living in a tenement yard, and you have outdoor facilities, you know what I mean? You know, used to nothing inside the house. And I get to my father's gates, bridging, and I see all of these things. You know what I mean? It blew my mind. First time I see a television set, telefunking at them time, they them call it. We have stereo system now, telefunking, them call it. You know what I mean? First time I see these things, in a refrigerator, you can open my fridge and go in and take all something and all that kind of thing there. When we grew up with my mother, I have to wait till she cook something for eat.
Yes.
You know, and my neighbors then time, they had mango trees and everything like that. And they liked I because I was a loving youth. And the elders in the Thompson Pen community, Jones Avenue community, really check for I as a local youth still. So I was one of the only youth man who could really go on most of them people yard, you know. Cause you had some very affluent people still living at them ghetto area there, you know, nice homes and everything, you know. You know what I mean? So I could have got them yard there and get some mango and carry back from a little brother them and thing like that, and from my mother as well. You know, and I would share that, you know. And you know, as a little youth, my father used to give my mother we call it pocket money for Iman.
Yes.
You know, every strong, you know. So she would get her stipend as well. And then my father would send maybe a pound or something. At them time, the pound enough money, you know, Bridget. You have a pound, you can't spend it, you know. You can't done it. So, you know, I would take that pound, Virgin, after she bring it to Iman, and I would share it amongst my little siblings, them, you know.
Yes.
And, you know, that's how we used to live, and we still live that way today. We not stop, because we still love them, and never stop loving our brothers and sisters, them, regardless, and wherever they are, they will tell you that to all know, you know. So, yeah, man, so we grew up them kind of way, them, my beloved.
So when was the first time you laid eyes on your queen?
Yeah, that was 1968.
Okay.
1968, Virgin. I walked in the backyard. She was standing on a step. You know, her mother, and let me give you a little backstory still, because her mother came to, my father was, like I mentioned, was a justice of the peace.
Yes.
So he processed paperwork for ones trying to go to the United States and England and, you know, these different places, go overseas, you know. And so she came to my father's office to fill out her paperwork.
Okay.
And, you know, my father's, you know, they had a little talk, and my father asked her what she does, and she said, I'm a caterer, you know. And he said to her, well, this is the story the mother given me still. That my mother-in-law, she said, Mr. Senior said to me, I'm having a party this weekend. You think you can come and cook for me and, you know, and stuff like that? And she said, yeah, I mean, of course. And she did. And everybody loved it so much. And my older brother, again, loved her cooking, you know. He loved her stew peas and rice and her lemonade. She made some of the sweetest lemonade. Boy, I tell you, today you can't drink them lemonade. It's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So she took on that position of catering for my father.
Okay.
My stepmother actually lived away in same place in St. Catherine, but she was a head nurse. You know, and she run a clinic in a place in St. Catherine called Troja.
Okay.
Outside of Riverdale, Bagwalk area there, you know. And so she wouldn't come home until the weekend. So she would cook. So my father, my older brother, would have something to eat daily, you know what I mean? And I just come in from the gates now. So I mean, this is new to I. And I mean, I have a plate set for at a table.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Can you imagine that?
Yes.
When I used to get a little metal plate, and we have to just go sit down at the step of the yard, or, you know, next to a assistant or something, and eat your local food and things like that. No, I'm sitting around a table, Virgin. So, you know, so that's where I met P. And I remember that day, you know, I shoved her off the step. And she still she had the scar to prove it till recently still, of course.
Yeah.
Peace. And she would often short to her, you know, I say, see that you did that. So she had a scar on her leg that Iman caused.
Wow.
As a little youth, you know, a little troublesome youth and thing like that. But maybe it's true you don't like her from them time there. You know, we don't know how to tell her that still, but, you know, as a little youth, that's how you can show it, you know, is by fighting them or pushing them around and things like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Masculine powers.
What a joy. So when did I leave Jamaica and come to America? What was that journey?
Yeah, I really never wanted to come here at all, and I shared that to her, you know, and but my father insisted, you know, because you know we grew up rugged, and you know I remember one time some man wanted to extort money from my father. Like me say, he's a businessman in the community, you know. So the extortion thing I go on long time at Spanish Town, you know, to the thing, long time thing.
Okay.
You know, so as a youth, we kind of raise up on the street still, you know. Me going one day and tell my father, say, well, you know, I got to take over the business, you know, because we can't have these things that go on, you know. So me confronted the man, them, because them would come sit down in my office like so them work there, you know what I mean, and I collect a paycheck, you know. So I tell him one day, I just walk in and say, all right, Dad, what I do is first is observe. One day, a brethren CI, a brethren named Rakis. Honor to the brethren that him pass, may his soul rest in peace, or rise in piousness, Rakis. And Rakis spot I one day, and him said, yo, Johnny, come here, me talk to you. I said, what I go on? And he said to me, boy, you need to come help your father, you know. Sometimes I may run the street, you know what I mean? And I say, come help him do what? I said, boy, some man up there really, you know, every day them dead, they bad him for money and all them things. The man can't have no peace and things like that. And the way me love my old man, and my old man love me, I say, all right, you know, I have to go leave the street.
Yeah.
So I come one day and blocking at the yard with the business there and just observe everything and who is who, so I can figure out the thing, you know what I mean? Because as a soldier, you have to do the observing first.
You're always very intelligent. Did you know any of those brethren who were doing the extortion?
Yeah, man. Okay. You them we grew up with as youth, the primary school and all of that, man. But them, you know, in Spanish Town, you have a segment, you have a split, you know, you have political violence.
Yes.
You come from one side of the street, so even though you roll up together as youths, you choose another path.
Yes.
And I live certain areas, so you get branded and you own that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So them was of a different persuasion. So and my father's business place was in their zone.
Okay.
So you know I'm in enemy territory.
Okay.
You know, so. Yeah,
this is an epic blockbuster family. So make sure you get your ital snacks. This is an epic. I'm on suspense. Me know say make it out, you know, but we're in great suspense. Continue.
Yes, I. So you know, make it out to the help of enough ones, man.
Okay.
But yeah. So you know, when I'm on the next day, you know, I'm on go to the night I go home to the house. I said to the old man, I said, well, I will start come up at the office and work with you. You know, I'm showing the runnings and things like that, you know, and how everything is done, you know, because you don't know we're intelligent and we're bright youth, because we have big time scholar, high school and them things, you know, start all university and them things. So, but we just love the street. We love the street. But then, the next day when I arrive now, the brethren them seat up in the seat, because my father have a sofa. And you know what I mean, so his clients them can sit there and wait on their paperwork and stuff like that, you know. So them I take up that space. So I just walk in now and I just say, yo, brethren, don't have to leave. And them rise up. You know, but we're ready. So when them rise up, you see them not hesitate, them walk straight out. Because them know the reputation, them know where man come from, them know some man raise up hard. So them walk away and them go outside and them stand up on the piazza. There was a bookstore next to my father's business place named St. Diego Books and Haberdashery. So them would have stand up around there, you know. Can't mention names, but we don't mention people's names.
No, we don't want to go to the name.
So them would stand out there for many days, almost 2 strong, because them couldn't come back into the place because I'm dead now. Because them know, say, well, them can't really come through and do like what them used to, you know what I mean? So I protect my old man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? yeah, man, I have to look after my father's life. I love him.
Yes.
Because he do a great deal for I, man. And my stepmother as well, believe you me, because, I mean, she didn't have to do what she did for I. She took I in.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
Yeah, man, so I learned great lessons from them. And that's why, that's what make me the man I am today. I do the same for I families. You know, wherever they are, my nieces, nephews, whoever. I'm going to take them in, I'm going to feed them, I'm going to clothe them. I'm going to do it because they did for me.
I see the I family full up the chat. So it's evident wherever you go, love follows the I. Mama Spicy was the same, you know. Mama
yes, I most definitely.
So that love. So did these brethren go and try anything? You know, how did this?
No, brethren, because you know we own a reputation. You know, from youth, you know, and they know, like I said, we grew up together from primary school, so they know who I am, and them know, so well, yo, don't test, you know. So them after a while, them even stop company peers, I'm name see them again.
Okay,
some of them come see like America, I come see enough of them now.
Okay, and family, that tell you the strength of who him is. Him humbling us, him have to just humble and calm, but that tell you say the fact that no further violence and the man them just take with themselves when them see Brother John. Show you who him is, you know, who him is and who he was. And he carried that into righteousness because he's a man that is highly respected, you know, all over. Not because of boastfulness, but because of what he does for others, you know. Countless stories of assistance, and these brethren are always helping someone, you know what I mean? It really is
my father's mantra, you know. My old man was the same way, you know. He was a giver, you know. He would give you the shirt, literal give you the shirt off him back.
Okay, but he was concerned because he saw that you back off the youth then, but he didn't want you to get into a conflict. Is that why he sent you to America?
Yeah, that's some years later, because at this point now, so let's go forward again now. So Pauline left Jamaica when she was like 12, 13.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I never really see her again. I never even give her a second thought still, because I mean, we are youth when they think about them vibration, because we are live our life, we are hold it down right, that's how we're there.
Yeah.
You know, and so when she returned in 1981, and now, you know, there's a place in Spanish Town named Rivoli Avenue. So that was my base. You know, that was where I would be, and you know, Berlin, we call it Berlin, because there's a great wall. St. Diego High School is right there, so there's a wall that would climb over and go play football.
Okay, I'm an honorary member of St. Diego, you know, them give me that title there.
Wonderful. Well, my big brother, his wife, he's also a past student of St. Diego.
Yeah, man. Big up St. Diego, man. Then.
Yeah. So him, so that was my space, my place. You know what I mean? Rivoli Avenue. Yeah, so we ride up down on the river bank, the Ryacoba River, you know. And those are places where we know from where baby, you know what I mean? Can run up and down them place there. You know, Waterloo Lane, them place there's, you know, that's our town. You know, so we're very well known in those areas and that vicinity. So when Pauline came forward now in 1981, in October of 1981 to be exact, I'm on a brethren, my brethren in England now. Shout out to my brethren Kino in England now, and we did a whole of vibes. Them time the IRFM are licking on, so we had the stereo, the boombox, seat up in the corner on Nugent Street next to Barracks Primary. Barracks is actually Spanish Town Primary School, but we call it Barracks because it's an old English barrack.
Okay.
You know, so we just blocking the sound, a local seating area, and we just did a whole of vibes and listen to some music. And where we seat up now, I could look down the street and at the street light, so we could see people passing, traffic, whatever going on. We can see, because nobody can see I and I, because we're in the dark.
Yes.
So I see my old man, I go down the street and I say, boy, it's about 10 after 11 o'clock now, 10, 11 o'clock, and I see my old man up on the street. My old man don't come on road after dark, you know.
Yeah.
That was concerning. You know what I mean? So now me rush out there now, because I said, no, I can't make my old man out the street that kind of way, yeah, man. I have to go see where I go on. And so I go and I say, Pops, where I go on? And him say, oh, come. I have somebody at the house I want you meet. You know? And yeah, man, me have a yellow shots. Because I just don't play ball to, you know, and take my show and then we just go sit down and hold the vibes, listen to some music. And normally I would have done in the jungle. I said, this like nah, go. You see all the most I work. Normally not sit up there now. Even though I want our original spot, but normally nighttime down at the jungle I beat that thing. You know what I mean? And them time they were deal with chalice.
Yes.
You know? And so when we go up at the gates now, I have my shorts and a tank top and my tennis shoes and things like that. And when I walk into the house, I see the sister in a red and black sweatsuit, you know, looking so beautiful. Oh my Lord, I'll tell you. Oh,
yes.
So I'm on step in and, you know, we're bold and confident, you know. So I'm on step forward and my father said to me, say, you remember? I said, no. I remember. I honestly I didn't remember because it's years me not see her.
Yes.
I mean, but remember her brother, but me not put 2 and 2 together either. You know what I say? Because it just suddenly pop up on I-man.
Yes.
And so he explained to me who she was. I said, oh yeah. So it started clicking on me. I said, what? So I think, all right. You know, so that there reason. And you know, after about an hour, so she said. Her brother said, you know, it's time to go. Them have to go to the supermarket before the supermarket closed. Them time they at supermarket. I work my 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So him say, him go up to a supermarket and well, I mean, I tell you, test it again, you know, because now she said to I, do you mind walking with me? I said, no. So I said, where are you going? And the brother said, I'm going up to French Street. Now, Mark, you know, beloved, where I-man live, you know, is a different zone.
Yes.
So I-man going into a different zone now. I mean, I'm going into the heart of the opposition, you know.
Okay.
You understand? I mean, for them HQ. And
yes.
That's what me really are going to know, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't go to them place to by yourself.
No.
You're over. So, but I couldn't tell her no.
Blockbuster movie. It's a blockbuster movie, you know, family. Yeah, it's a blockbuster movie. Go ahead.
Everybody else said that to her, man. Said, no, you're on your own with that one day.
Yeah.
But she coming from the States, you know, I said, boy, you know, I have to protect this Empress. I can't really just make her go up there. Because she never know where she's going. You know, she never understand the danger. This is 1981 in a version. 1980 election, one of the wicked, the most volatile time in Jamaica,
man.
You know.
Yeah, man. Serious.
Yeah, man. Serious time, Bridget. And so I say, all right. So when we do now, through strategic, and we're a soldier, we put her in front of her and we walk one pace behind her. So we still have a conversation. I go up the street. But me observing everything and making sure, say, you know, she not walking on a danger and thing like that. Even though our big brother did, and our big brother, one serious brother still there. So I'm not going to name to him baby sister.
Okay. And
so we get up at the supermarket, and so she went in with her brother and me stand up at the door like a sentinel, a guard, you know, and I hold that meditation and observing everything and think no incident free. So then we left and we come forward. When we reach I-man's zone, I could breathe a little sigh of relief.
Yes.
You know, wow. And then we walk her to her brother's home. This was in De La Vega City.
Okay.
You know, you hear Chronics talk about Della.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So De La Vega City was another place of I too. You know, yeah, man. Shout out to the family in De La Vega City. Okay. Yeah. So De La Vega City was the spot. You know, so I would go there every day. When I leave her that night, she said to her, I say, "Can I see you tomorrow?" I'm like, well, okay. Yeah, why not?
Brother John not telling say beer lyrics, you know, up and down, you know. Brother John
And them time there, to be honest, you know, yeah. man did already ask His Majesty for a queen.
Okay.
You know, because I man did kind of step away from certain things too. You know, and I say, I say, His Majesty, I see how the daughters them are move about here, and I don't want them daughters if I queen, because they're not queen material.
Yes, yes, yes.
You know me I say? Yeah, because I know the runnings. I'm there every day with them, so I know so them not queen material.
Yes, yes.
So
yes.
when she asked I that I say, yeah, sure, you know what I mean? And so for 2 strands, me and her hang out and, you know, with all her vibes and things like that. And then she left and came back to the States. And about 3 months later, she forward again.
Okay.
And we used to talk almost every day. She would call like every day.
Okay.
You know what I mean? She would call the office. Them time that I run my father's office now, you know.
Okay.
So I was everything.
Yes.
I was the boss, I was a courier, I was everything. So I would go to Kingston to the passport office. I'd go to the births and record office. I would do all of these things, you know. I'd go to the US Embassy for the visa, all of them things, everything that me doing all of these things.
Yes.
And so some days I might not be there. So when my father pick up the phone and she say, well, where is he? And she say, he would say, well, I'm gone on an errand or whatever. And she would like, well, tell him I'm not calling again, because every time I call, he's not there. And my father said to her, him told me that now, though, him said to her one day, him said, look, don't say that to him, because if you tell him that, if him hear you say that, him not going to call you. And this not going to end well. Because him are just done. You understand? That's the kind of nature I am. If you say no call him, I never call you.
Yeah.
Around down. And so, you know, she would constantly call and would reason and would talk. And I remember the first time I wrote her a letter was Proverbs.
Hold on, I have to explain to the young people what a letter is, you know, because I text around the place. No, a letter. What you talking about, Brother John?
Yes, I actually write pen on paper, brethren, like pen pal. I don't know if they are them. I call them thing there, but pen on paper. Put the paper in an envelope. It says US mail on it, and seal it. Put a stamp on it. Take it to the post office, and then ship it overseas. You know. But yeah, that first letter, and I have it still. I still have that letter today. She kept all our correspondence.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I have them up to this day.
I have all my love letters I wrote to my wife too. We have
so you know you're not the same boat, beloved.
Yeah, man.
So you know the love story thing.
Come from the, yeah, man. Pen and penmanship and them thing there.
Yes, I.
So when was it that now that I went to America, and did you come straight to Washington D.C. area, or what was it? What was the movement?
Yes, so I can go forward a little bit because so in 1981 when we got back together, and then through the next few years after that, you know, she'd been coming and going, you know. So in 1986, we got married in 1986, July 23rd, 1986. Okay. Purposefully so, Bridget, because I, you know, as a Ras, you know, royal Ethiopian son, I said to her, you know, I want to get married on this special day, because I personally don't want to forget His Majesty wherever I go, because, you know, you have distractions and things like that, and coming to America and all them kind of thing, you ever get distracted. You know what I mean? And you're young enough, man. Because remember, when I met Pauline, I was a teenager still, you know.
Okay.
You know what I say? So, you know what I mean? You have a lot of things going to influence you same way.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? And you have bridging where me send a lot of man come to America, and you know what I mean? So would I see a lot of them when me come here too. So me know say me could get involved in the game.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
I mean know that. Because I know the type of person I is. Because like I say, I raise up on the street. So if me see it, I will be active in it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But because I had such a wonderful queen that steered me, and I tell people all the time, she saved my life. You know, it is Haile Selassie who saved my soul, but she saved my life.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah, because
and she was no nonsense. She was very no nonsense.
No nonsense, sister.
You know, and
she not take no foolery.
No, nothing.
None of that, Bridget. You can't come around now with no nonsense, Bridget. And I respected that, because I'm like, yeah, man, somebody now can really mold me and, you know what I mean, guide me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I have to guide myself too, because you know what I mean? Because I said, boy, I mean, I really want to bring nothing home to her and cause no problem. Because
Yeah,
she's such a
man.
wonderful person. I want her to make sure that she living a hopeful life, you know. So me, yeah, man. So she helped mold me and turn me into the man that I am today too.
What
So,
a
yeah, man.
what
So in
a powerful.
1987, I came to the States.
Yes.
You know, yeah, man. And
What a powerful love story.
yeah,
We celebrating love tonight. We have the president of the I-niversal development of Rastafari, Brother John Sr. here, and about 50 of him family members in the chat.
what?
Ras, greetings, family. Give thanks, Rastafari. Your sister-in-law is there, Janine Jeffrey. She love it. Bongo Wisely is here.
Oh, Bongo Wisely.
Went to school in Spain. Brother John him say he went to school in Spain Town, JA, Jamaica
Yes,
School.
Agricultural School, Twickenham Park. Yeah, man. I know it very well.
Yeah, man. Big
Twickenham
up
Park.
Bongo Wisely. Now leave we out. Big up.
Yes, Bongo Wisely.
Give thanks. Lion Pride. Uncle Jay, you see our next family?
Epic
Remember there?
Yes,
Epic
yes,
duo.
family. Blessed, blessed, blessed.
Yes, Atlanta family checking in. Big up yourself, DJ. Ras Iman.
Yes,
Hail Amigos and the guest. Emperor Haile Selassie I the first and Empress Menenas for sending heights of love and respect. Yes, big up Lion Voice and Lion Pride for Majestic Sounds International, Atlanta, Georgia. Big up yourself, DJ Ras Iman.
Give thanks.
More family here sending love, Jacilia. Yes. Then now leave you out, Brother John. But anywhere this brother go, love, have to follow. Love you, Johnny. Yes, I met Toti in Spanish Town with Brother Johnny. Vernon Dunbar, big up yourself.
Legend.
Yes, Maxine, blessed love, John. Iris, enough respect, heart of love. Love, Sister Max here. Yes. The brethren, royal greeting, priestly warriors, Atlanta family checking in. Ras Maisha, Haile Selassie I, the one-on-one God, reach each one and teach each one personally. Yes, Pittsburgh family, checking in. Big up yourself, Ras Maisha. Natty Reed says, Rastafari, blessing, Lion Talk, one jaw, one aim, one destiny. Yes, Sister Christine said, Annette, rest in peace, always. Shireen Banso, my queen and the producer of the Lion Voice Network, said, Mama Spicy, Mama P, big up yourself. Dennis Brown, blessed my Lord, big up yourself. Palm
My
J.
Lord, Dennis Brown, give thanks.
Yes.
Palm J, give thanks.
Greetings. And make sure the item go follow Palm J every day on YouTube.
Yes,
Palm J is part of our Lion Pride on Patreon. We're building out his channel. The brethren of a fitness channel came here from Liberia. Make sure anyone who watch this go to Palm J every day on YouTube. Follow the brethren, subscribe, and we'll build a theme platform just like this one. I met Brother Johnny's father as well. Yeah, man, big up Tanya Senior, big up Granddad. Yes, big up yourself. Tanya, big up yourself. Is Tanya or Tania? Tanya, big up yourself. Uncle, I tell you, your family now leave you. Dennis Brown, Ras Ines, big up yourself. Patrick Senior, big up Uncle.
My favorite nephew, give thanks, my favorite nephew.
But tell you anywhere, Brother John go. Your son Tafari locked in from Farmville, California. But originally from St. Kitts and Nevis, enough respect, Bongo Wise and all the Rasses in St. Lucia. Big up all of the family, St. Kitts and Nevis family checking in. Big up yourself. Ray is here as well. Yeah, man, everyone.
Yes, Mancini.
Yes, K. Hodges John is one of a kind. Can never forget such a beautiful spirit, Cathy, with a K.
Cathy with a K.
Carl Jr., bless up Uncle CJ from West Palm Beach. Yeah, man, the family I represent strong tonight. 41 people here live. Hundreds more will watch this on the replay. We're just getting, we're in the time machine right now. We're going to talk about Rastafari development, repatriation. but I always like to humanize our guests so we know where they're coming from, who they are, because this is not the first time Brother John has been on the panel. This is the first time by himself, not the last time either, because we're cataloging the journey, the uprising of this mighty people, this mighty nation. So we want to get these stories, and we want the lion to tell his own story from his own experience. So tell us about the Spicy Delight. How did Spicy Delight? Because Brother John had one of the most popular Caribbean restaurants in the Washington, D.C. area. I mean, they would cater, people line up, people come. It was like getting a home-cooked meal, because Brother John and Mama Spicy were there. She would hold the register. My daughter was there sometime after school. They opened their space to I family. You know what I mean? But Spicy Delight was an institution. How did that Caribbean restaurant come about?
That was divine, my beloved. When I came to America in 87, because, we have a business mindset, because I studied economics at University of West Indies. I only spent one semester there,
Okay.
Yeah, I just decided that was it for me. And so economics was, I think, I older brother is a financial mastermind. So it runs in the family, So he's well trained in that aspect and that area, that discipline. Finance is his thing, which is my sister-in-law's husband, Christine there. So we and my father was a financial genius as well. You know what I mean? So it runs in the family. So when I came to America, I man say, well, because I never worked for anybody before in my life. As a matter of fact, let me take that back. One time as a youth, my father gave me a summer job in Spanish Town, and for all the Spain Town people, they will remember this. Anderson Haberdashery and clothing store next to Shadi's bookstore.
Okay.
And so as like a 10-year-old youth, my father get me a little summer job. Somebody there clean the window and think my little brother now passing through now and spot him, and I would stop for reason with my little brother. So the lady, Mrs. Anderson, came out, may her soul rest in peace as well. She came out and said, what you doing? I said, well, I talk to my little brother. She said, no, you're on the job. You can't talk to nobody while you're on the job. So I said, really? I saw this thing I go with work. You know what I mean? You can't talk to nobody. So I said, all right, no problem. I said, all right, little brother, go on about your business. So I finished doing my job, take up the bucket, throw the water, throw the newspaper, put the bucket back in the little closet where it's supposed to be, because I do all of these things plus sales, because I walk around the store and I help people buy products and clothing and shoes and them things, because she sell everything in there.
Yes.
And so after I do that, I just walk past her, because she sit down at the cash register. And she said, where you going? I said, I'm leaving, I quit. She said, what you mean you quit? I'm going to tell your father. I said, okay, you can tell him all you want. But if I had a job and me can't talk to my brother, then no, me can't work for nobody. So from them time, the Virgin, I pledged to me never work for nobody in my life.
Okay.
Yeah, so when me come to America, Virgin, that was already instilled. It was innate. Because my father never worked for no man. So me decided I want to do the same thing. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a business owner.
Okay.
And I shout out to my brother-in-law, Sister P's big brother Sammy.
Yes.
Him used to drive the Barwood cab in Silver Spring. So every Saturday, he would pick I up and ride with him, and I would sit down in the front seat, passenger in the back seat, and things like that. I would drive all over DC, all over Maryland. So I know the area very well, because I ride with a taxi man who know the road,
Yes.
And and he's a man who like to eat. And them time, I'm an ital same way, I come from yard, because we already hold the order,
Yeah,
so we don't eat anything. So there's no place for me to eat anything, you know what I mean? So I would stop and get little this and little that. And I said, no, me just eat, give me corn chips and some orange juice. That was my thing. Because I said, boy, nothing else not there for eat, we might as well just bounce on that then,
Yeah.
And so one day, he pull up on a restaurant named Johnny's. And I said, that's it. I'm going to open my restaurant. Because called Johnny. I'm a name John.
Yes.
You know what I mean? People call I Johnny. So me I remember one day Sister P was working at Signet Bank at this time.
Yes.
I was picking her up, and I used to pick her up at Tacoma Park, and I would pass this little restaurant here, and sometimes she like her little patties and things like that, and someone would pick up one for her while me I wait for her to come off the train, you know, and hand it to her with that. She don't like soda, but she'll eat the patty, and she'll eat the patty. And so one day me I pick her up and I notice the place closed. I said, yo, the restaurant closed. What go on with that? You know what I mean? Jamaican restaurant, prime location, lockdown. You know? So this Friday when we pick her up, you know, and on the back of my head, I said, who me can contact about this thing and why the restaurant closed? You know, I need to find out this thing. So the brethren that used to be the chef in the restaurant, he used to work at another restaurant in Langley, not Langley Park, but Flower Avenue named Sweet and Spicy.
Okay.
Yeah, that bridging there. And him, so him used to work at that restaurant. Him used to run it. There it is. So him used to run that spot. So there was an event this Saturday. Because I play soccer, you know, so we had a soccer team and we won a tournament. So we decided to put on a little gathering for the teammates, the team members, them and things. So we rented a place out there, so off Cherry Hill Road, with them had all the amenities, a pool hall and table tennis and them things. So we go on there and just have a good time, me and Sister P. And we run into the chef. And I say, yo, what go on with the restaurant? And I say, boy, them people them can't manage it and it now make no money and all them things. So give me a link for the people them. And him give me the number and the rest is history.
Okay.
8 years of Spicy Delight. You know, we feed 4 mayors. We catered to the White House. Yeah, man. So we did it. Sister P. R.I.P. Rise in piousness, my empress.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big up the producer. Find the producer work. She earn her money.
Earn her keep for real. She earn her keep for real. Yes. Yo. Give thanks. Yes, I mighty.
Man, mighty.
Yeah, man. So 28 years, you know, in that establishment, like I say, you know, we feed from Marian Berry right up to Muriel Bowser. You know, Fenty was a staple at our restaurant. You know, his family, his wife, a Jamaican too. She was also a staple. Their children grew up on Spicy Delight. Big adults, them now still. But yeah, man, council members, all of Ward 4, we give thanks to the Ward 4 community, all of the community of Tacoma Park for their love and support over those years, you know. Yeah, man, give thanks.
This is one of the pillars. So for the international audience, you know, this is one of the, you know, in America, you know, the Caribbean restaurant or the carryout is one of the, this is where you find out about all of the events. You know, this is where the people used to come get their flyers when flyers used to give out and all of the dance them. You know, this is where you come and you get your Irish mass, you get your this, your that. All of the little products and the things that we love as Caribbean people. And because Mama Pauline and Brother John, you know, it was like you're walking into their kitchen, you know what I mean? The love, the energy, you know, TV around some program and, you know, people reasoning sometime or go on in there with people passing through. You never know who you would meet in there. It was such a joyful time. I remember I used to go and get me tofu sip. I don't know what happened to them tofu there, Brother John. After a while, then disappear. But then I and my brother used to rinse the tofu, some like a curry tofu kind of vibration, very high level. But you know, it was such a joy. All right, producer.
So you see Sister P wearing our famous red and black.
Yes.
So when we beat her, she had on red and black, and that was my team colors in Jamaica.
Okay.
Yeah, Crystal United.
Okay.
Yeah, we went to we play all Premier League football and all them thing there.
And my
Crystal became a powerhouse,
Okay.
Football was St. Catherine football was a powerful football fraternity.
Yeah, man. Talk about your football. Because I know say that is something very important to your son. He's a champion footballer too.
Yeah.
Big up Ryan. Your other son, Joel.
Them pick up them skills from them father and them uncle, man. So them take it to the next level. Where I didn't go, they went. Yeah, man. Joel played for the national team. I think he have like 8 caps.
Yes.
Go overseas in Sweden. Ryan was in Italy and Spain.
Wow.
Yeah, so them did their do, I give thanks that opportunity to play some international football.
Mighty legacy. All right, so I want to get into idor. Talk about your introduction to idor, your connection with the Washington D.C. Rastafari community. How did that connection come about?
Yeah, well, as I said, in 1987, when I come to the United States as a young Ras, I needed to find my niche. I needed to find where the Rastafari bridging them there. You know what I mean? And so I wasn't exposed to too much of it. And as a soldier, you study. You study your local. You study your area, you watch people, you see how they move, you see who is who before you approach anyone, you know what I mean? So I did that for a few years before I even approach one and try to find my way around the community, Rastafari community, But there was a house party at I Gates in Silver Spring. Them time that we live in a Silver Spring. Yeah. Yes, Silver Spring. So Brother Roy.
Okay.
So Brother Roy came by the gates. My brother-in-law knew Brother Roy very well. So the first time I will get introduced to Brother Roy,
this is another one of our stalwart elders, one of I teacher in the community, Brother Roy,
Yeah. So that night, my brother-in-law introduced me to Brother Roy, and Brother Roy would start to talk about Rastafari, such a passionate bridging about Rastafari. I'm like, what? We find a bridging like myself, man. So we start to reason, and him going and car and pick up some documents, some manuscripts, and running at the house and grab some of mine too. Come bring some stuff from yard, I brought a stack of newspaper from 1935. I still have them too.
Okay.
From 1935, Ethiopia newspaper, the Ethiopian News.
Okay.
I have those newspapers, so I bring some, come show to Brother Roy, and him took me lend him some of them, and them broken and can't steal a lot of them thing.
Wow.
But me still have some of them thing there still. But yeah, man, so I get introduction to Brother Roy. Brother Roy say, tell me where him there and things, so I go get for meet Brother Pug, you know what I mean, at Top Shelf. Okay. Them time that them at the paint shop round Pan and Eager Road.
Okay.
Hyattsville, So we go around this and just meet with the brethren them, and get to know and the introduction to the community now, and so it began, the Binge House, come on the Binge House, meet Ras Iris, Ras Sydney, you know what I mean, and
serious.
So, yeah, man, it that's where got my introduction to the Rastafari community in Washington D.C.
Yes, and what made you want to take the position of president of idor, because there has always been a supporter, any strength, this is, Brother John, Mama Pauline, any fundraising, anything, you're going to get a strength, you're going to get strength. But what made you say, you want us move from being a strength to actually holding a position, within the organ of idor.
Again, that's Ivine again. I saw His Majesty work mystical, because I man never really want to hold no position for any organization, period. I just want black Rastafari and just go about our business, because, my mantra is individual collectivity. And sometimes, you go in organizations and just, things name right, and then you just end up being discouraged. You know what I mean? So it was again, and shout out to my brethren Ras Boo. So me link up with Ras Boo, and with their reason and Gates, and I get a call. I think it was it might be the I that call I to and said the I them gathering up at Ras Iris Gates.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I say, all right, I'm gonna come through there and drop off something for the elder. And Boo said to I said, wait for him, man, we'll just chat together. So when I get them on the house full, Rastaman and Sister just pack up the plates and I hold a nice little gain of vibration with the elder and Sister Danita, and give thanks to Ras Iris, R.I.P.
Yes.
I love it, elder.
Yes,
and you know what I mean? So I'm on there and a brethren whisper in my ears, boy, brother Johnny, would I like there become a part of idor, And him said to this, him ask my brethren Boo the same thing too. Boo declined. Boo said, no, me not really, And the spirit just said to me, say yes. And I said yes, and the rest is history. We came in as a member of idor, and gradually rise up to the rank vice president until Ayman now has become the president for the past 4 years now, and we give thanks for the opportunity to serve in that capacity.
Yeah, man, and Mama Pauline served as our
Mama
treasurer.
Pauline, was the treasurer from that time.
Yes, built up our treasury to the highest it's been.
Man, she, Virgin, I tell you, because she was that kind of person. She was meticulous in her work.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And as a former banker herself, she have to make sure say all the I's are dotted and the T's them cross.
Great strength.
Yeah,
and we still maintain that legacy from her work.
Yes,
still there.
He was like that,
So we really give thanks, and the I-niversal development of Rastafari, it inspired I because we're about development. And I think in Rastafari, a lot of time we talk about the history, we talk about the past, which is good. And let me just take the time to give a shout out to the idor study group, which we meet every other strong. Brother John and myself and Mama Walete are the moderators. The study group is something that I started in 2008 with the blessing of our elder Ras Iris, who, told us we had to add an African Affairs segment, because I was inspired because I was part of a study group with some Ethiopian youths at Sankofa bookstore, and they were studying Ethiopian history. And then there was a next study group that was doing Pan-African history, and I said, we need this for Rastafari to study the teachings of His Majesty. And, brought the sound to Ras Iris and to the idor family and, get the green light. And we started at Sankofa. Now it's online, spreading and advancing the teaching of His Majesty, which is so important. And Brother John is one of the Rasses that I know is so well studied in the teachings of His Majesty. And when you read the teachings, what strikes you is that every speech is not just a speech. It's a catalog of achievement, or efforts and work that is happening. It's the opening of a school. It's the cutting the ribbon at a health center. It's a graduation. It's, a conference of the Organization of African Unity. It's a war speech or whatever, but it's always some work in the progress and development. And you realize very quickly that Rastafari is a development movement. You know, it's a development mindset and levity. It's not stagnant. It's not just sit down and burn a chalice, smoke herb, and listen reggae music how they would stereotype us or try to dumb us down, you know. I know Brother John is about development because I'm a key brethren and we move together. But talk to us, Brother John, about how does the I see Rastafari development? What do you see the role of Rastafari to play in the development of the Caribbean, of Africa, of Black people, of what's going on globally today?
Well, let me start by saying this. I love it, is that there can't be no development without Rastafari. And we have to fully understand what Rastafari really means. You know, as Ras means head, the title. You know, so we are a people. Before we talk about the development and where we need to be and where we need to go as a people collectively, we have to first heal ourselves. You know, healing is part of that process that we need to all be engaged in. You know, I might need to read something real quick for the eye, because, you know, as I say, we must heal ourselves first, because we've been through so much trauma and neglect. You know, the transatlantic slave, all of these different things, the Jim Crow, the redlining, all of these things that we can talk about at this time. But this is what comes to me when I ask that question. There is Isaiah 1 verse 6. It says, "From the sole of the feet, even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores. They have not been closed, neither bounded up, neither mollified or ointed." So we still haven't been healed. The sores and the scars are still with us. So before we can move on to the next level of development, we have to heal those scars first. Else we will come out on the other side the same very way, a wounded people, you know. And so we have to deal with that self. We have to deal with self first. So we have to go within our irids, you know. Like trust is an issue that sometimes is systemic. You know, the mistrust that we have amongst ourselves as a people collectively. I mean, you know, and I know, we've seen it happen just recently. You know, there was an incident where some money was sent for someone and sent it to someone to pass it on to somebody else. Somebody cipher off half of that and just give the people them half, and then they lock off them phone, them can't contact them anymore. So those are some of the issues that we have.
Yeah, it's rough out there, family. It's rough. Huh? It's rough out there. And I realize that even doing this platform, you know, I have almost 30,000 subscribers and only 29 in the Lion Pride on Patreon. And I know some of it is because they're saying, I'm not sending my money to that brethren there. You know, who is him? You know, it's implanted in our brain. And even if you love what I'm doing, you'd still look at me and say, boy, I don't feel like him for getting no money, because, you know, who is him? You know, that is a subconscious programming that we have, you know, because other communities, they support their media, they support, I'm here doing the thing, but I understand that it's only the love have to be broken down through consistency. That is one of the ways you build trust.
Yes,
is by being consistent, you know what I mean, yes, and being dependable. But continue.
Yes, I so it is the healer is Haile Selassie, is Rastafari. So the healers come, you know, so through his words and the inspiration of His Majesty, by reading his words and getting those inspiration, we begin to heal ourselves. You know, those who truly wants the healing, because you have enough man I read the word every day and still not get no better, you know, and yes, still disease ridden, you know, with these bad vibration within them irids. You know what I mean? But if you read His Majesty words, brethren, you're supposed to heal yourself every day. You're supposed to cure these disease and these ailments and these sores that and scars that are around you and within you. You know what I mean? So that's the development start first. Development start with the individual before we can move to the collective. You know? So yeah, so that's that they would it, brethren. So I'll read what His Majesty said. He said, we must look into ourselves, into the depths of our soul. We must become something we have never been, or which our education and experience and environment have ill prepared us. We must become members of a new race, overcoming petty prejudice, owning our ultimate allegiance, not to nations, but to our fellow man within the human community.
Serious.
Yeah. So at this there.
And that's from his famous speech, 1963, October 6th. The same war speech that His Majesty Bob Marley turned into a international
song.
Hit song. That's from that same speech for those who are not familiar. But it's a speech that brings more truth today than ever.
Yes,
because of what confronts us. The propaganda, the technology, the constant misinformation, gaslighting that takes place by the powers that be. We need it more than ever to become, bigger than we've been, larger in outlook, and come together. This is why I keep saying on this platform, no one is coming to save us, because I want us to really get the victim mentality out of our mind and know that we are the children of the conquering lion, I don't know if people understand that after the Italian invasion, His Majesty only had $5 million in the Ethiopian treasury to run a nation. That's
a one day.
Yeah, exactly.
Day fund that.
You see me, I say everything drained out, and he had to jumpstart the economy. That within a 10-year span, I can't remember the multitude of exponential growth that took place. We cannot be that, regardless what life has brought us in terms of circumstance. And it's so crucial because mental health is what is talking about as well. Spiritual health, physical health, mental health, the Trinity. You have to take care of all of these as an individual, because I've seen it over the years. We come together as an organization, and then because of trauma, the first bump in the road either is a fight or flight. You know what I mean? That's a trauma response. We either take away ourselves or we fight each other within the organ until it mash up. You know what I mean? But these are trauma responses. You know what I mean? As you say, so if we don't get rid of that individual trauma, we bring it into the collective, and then we cannot come together and get anything accomplished. What is the vision? How do we implement? Let's say that we get that individual part. What is the next step in the I thought?
Well, is the individual collective now. So you find like-minded ones, who have evolved and have elevated to that level of consciousness, because it's a daily thing, So we have to be properly aligned. Consciously, So when you find ones with similar ideology and ideas, then you gravitate to those ones and you work together with those ones, like what I and I doing in idor and Cassie and others who are doing these works. But when we talk about a global development, it's going to be very difficult. So we have to start models, small models. Like what we're doing individually, but collectively. So we start those small models and then we expand on them over time.
Yes.
That's how we have to do it. So we work with those that are already established and strengthen those, who have a track record of working. So those are the things and those are the programs. We strengthen those programs, like what idor is doing. The study group, the ICI, which is the idor Creed initiative.
Yes.
The elders care. So those are things that we do on a daily basis. So we find programs like those and help strengthen them wherever they are. And then we grow that way, beloved. And that's the only way we can truly develop. But we can't talk about the whole family to develop the whole family one time, because we're going to have problems and issues, because somebody there going to try to pull it down, So we work with those of like mind.
Serious. I want the I to find your favorite quote for I, so you can read it. The Accra conference quote then.
My favorite quote of all times from His
Yes.
Majesty.
Yes.
Yeah, me not have to find it. Me go tell
Okay, have it written on your heart. All right,
Yes.
block it up. What?
It's
Block the quote and then let us know what it means to the I.
Yeah, because it says Africa is on the verge of economic, political, and cultural development, which, when realized, will be without parallel in history. That is it for me, beloved. That tells me the plan, not the future, but what is happening and what is about to happen on the world scene. You know what I mean? I'm not a doomsday specialist. His Majesty already cleared the way for I said to me, say, well, listen to me, my son. What is about to happen and what will happen when we realize it, though, you know? Because him go on to say that to him, so which when realized by us. Because him not with us, seat up with us right now, presently, but him left the black print. And that one is written on my heart, that one specifically. Because before I read that speech, I was thinking about moving forward to Jamaica. But when Iman read that speech, Virgin, I'm like, what? You mean to tell me that this is going to happen? Me want to be a part of that. You know, like I always say, you know, I want to be a part of the welcome committee.
Yes,
yeah, I want to be one of those, the pioneers that bring and open up the doors in Africa for my brothers and sisters to come and see and help to develop and make Africa great again.
Highly. And they are doing it. You bought land in Ghana. This is my neighbor. The item here I talk about land we purchased in Ghana. I think I've showed some footage on the channel. This is I'm a neighbor. What made I decide to purchase land in Ghana? First of all, tell us about the I first trod to the continent, and you know what made I say, you know what, I'm going all in.
Divine again, because you know, I remember the first time I and the I supposed to trod to Ghana was in 2005.
No, it was 2000 must be 2006.
2006, and
yes,
we have everything set, and we go to Atlanta to fly out from Atlanta, and we did it for 2 strands, and it never happened.
Yes.
You know, I had to come forward to DC and things like that, but I was traveling with the I Queen. I was traveling by myself.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So the opportunity came in 2007 again. This time now with I Queen and the I Queen. So it was our day, and it was I vying for that to happen, because I wasn't supposed to go to Africa by myself and just come back and tell I Queen, say, boy, Africa nice, I never like it. You know what I mean? And all these things. I wanted, His Majesty wanted us to see together, wanted to touch the soil, both of us at the same time, and put our foot on the ground at the same time. You know what I mean? It would mean so, it meant so much more than me just going by myself at that Iowa and just experiencing that by myself. It wouldn't feel good. So I'm glad that it never did even happen at that time, and it happened in 2007.
And I had an isle of grounding in Atlanta.
Yeah, man, we had a great time. Listen, man, I cherish that moment, you know. Even though we didn't go to Africa, but I cherish that moment. That's when I learned to play some golf too, you know. Because we were in Atlanta for 2 strong, and we had to go up on the golf course and play some golf and just to pass some time. You know what I mean? But it was a beautiful experience, my brethren. Seat up with the eye at Bingishan Gates in Atlanta there, and some other brethren that took I and I around, and you know. Yeah, man, we give thanks to that experience, man. It was mighty, you know.
Yeah, man, I really full joy. And then because we went to Ethiopia and we went to Ghana.
Yes, in 2007. So Ethiopia was my first time going to Ethiopia, man. It was such a mighty experience, just going to the land, the most ancient land. You know what I mean? You talk about a continuous legacy, hierarchy, you know, sovereignty for over 5,000, almost 6,000 years, straight, non-stop. till a little interruption for a few years by the Lotalians, Mussolini, but still it uninterrupted basically, you know, for 6,000 years. So going into a land that it takes you back when you read all the Bible, it's like you're walking into a Bible time.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You know, you see the people them dressed the same way, the people them when the artistic iconographical representation of people, Bible people. You see it play out in reality there in Ethiopia. People dress the same way the people in the Bible dress.
Serious.
You know what I mean?
When
Yeah,
you hear
man.
the chanting from the churches, and it really
Yes, sir.
carried that spiritual.
Very, very spiritual, very highly spiritual.
And we were able to meet Bongo Rocky and Mama Baby
Mama
Eye.
Baby Eye. Yes, I.
Ras Flippins, you know, a lot of ones who are no longer with us.
Yes, I.
Right now, you know, we were
Yes,
able to seat up with them and get that Priest Paul. We were able to seat up with for a time, you know, a lot of ones on that chart. That was a very powerful, mystical chart.
And now that the eye said that, I need to read a quote for the eye from His Majesty.
Yes.
Him say, Ethiopia is an ancient land, and her civilization is a result of harmonious alchemy of the past and present, and upon which we confidently build for the future. This heritage is the bedrock of modern Ethiopia. It is the people, the people have chosen to distill from the past that which is useful and enduring, to adapt these worthwhile attributes of our present day world and to fashion this modern Ethiopianism. So His Majesty said to filter out certain things. You know what I mean? So these are some of the things I need to take when we are talking about development. We need to filter out certain things and use the things that can benefit and actually work for I. You know?
Yeah, man. Because Brother John is a man like myself, we stay in tune with the continent. How do the eyesight what's happening in Africa with Ibrahim Traore, the Sahel states? I just saw the news today. They just unveiled a new flag. You know, they're moving forward with their unity. They're setting up a meeting with ECOWAS to work out their exit from ECOWAS and how they're going to be interacting with the other Africans. How do you cite what's happening on the continent right now in terms of the whole picture?
Over 60 years in the waiting, my beloved. You know, His Majesty set all of these things in place, you know, from the groundation till now. So when we see our good brother Ibrahim doing what he's doing, and others, Mali, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, you know, how they're operating and what they're seeing is like they're saying to themselves, well, listen, our ancestors in the 1960s, 1950s, 1960s fought for this freedom and this liberation from the yoke of colonialism and now present day neocolonialism. Now, how can we respect that legacy by allowing this to continue on the continent of Africa? And I believe that all of the African nations, all of the heads of states of Africa need to follow suit. That's the only way I and I are going to get where we need to be in that unity of African nation, United Nations of Africa. That's the only way we're going to get there, brethren. We have to follow. We have to become hardcore. His Majesty took the lighter side at that moment, because we understood that when your hands are in the mouth of the lion, you have to gently pull it out.
Yes.
You know? Now we know the hands are out the mouth, so now we can actually slap the lion a few times now. You know what I mean? And say, all right, now it's time. We know we're going to get some feedback from that. We're going to get some trashing for that. We know they're not done with Ibrahim, but it is incumbent on I in the diaspora.
The brethren has survived 20 coup attempts and assassination attempts already. So
I must support that. wherever we are, and make our voice be heard in support of our brothers and sisters on the continent.
And how do you see Rastafari playing a role in this emerging Pan-African wave? You know, you see what's happening in Ghana. I mean, the eye's been to Ghana. Talk to the people about the rate of development, because we went in 2007. We returned since that, and I returned and was able to spend over a month with Mama Paulina. Give thanks for that, that she was able to get that time to see. But talk about the changes that even the eye has seen in the time, because I don't think people understand what's really happening on the continent. People still watch animal show and I look on lion and cheetah, and they're not associating what's really taking place in a place like Ghana. Explain to the people what your experience is with.
Yeah, man. I full encourage each and everyone who's viewing this and those who will view it in the future to support Africa every which way. Take a visit, take a trip to Africa. And there is no development that's going to happen on the continent of Africa without Rastafari. It is going to be I and I, the children of Rastafari, who's going to make it happen, because we're the one who have that righteous zeal within us. You know what I mean? We live by the creed of Rastafari, so we have to implement that within our liberty on the continent, and it must be seen by the people living there on the continent who Rastafari is. The philosophies and opinions of Kadamawi Haile Selassie is being seen when with like brethren like Ibrahim Traore. You know, he might not mention Haile Selassie's name, but his mandate is the same. It's to free Africa from the yoke of neocolonialism. Africa must be self-sustainable and self-determined. And that's where it is. When in 2007, when I and I went to Ghana, we see, and this is why I say it's gonna take Rastafari to do this, because I saw a lot of portraits and decals of a white deity everywhere in Ghana in 2007. And in 2022, when I went forward to Ghana 15, 16 years later, I see less and less. It was like 70%, 80% of white decals of deities there. Today, you barely, I don't think you can find 30% of those decals. They're disappearing. And it is Bob Marley, Jamaica, and Haile Selassie who has taken the forefront of that now. Everywhere you go, you see pictures of Haile Selassie. You see pictures of Bob Marley. You hear the reggae music Bob Marley playing everywhere. You see decals of Jamaica on every truck, every bus, every taxi, everywhere in Ghana. Everybody in Ghana wants to be a Jamaican. So it is going to be crucial that I and I, with certain knowledge, with righteousness, we have to uplift and live and build the continent the way we want to see it, and the continent, like His Majesty, it's Carter G. Woodson said the similar things like His Majesty say, as it's the Black History Month, the miseducation of the Negroes. He says His Majesty say our education has ill prepared us, so we have to become members of a new race. We have to think differently. The ways that we used to think before, the little petty prejudices, the little skimming and scheming and all those things have to stop. We have to live for the collective, for the whole. Because like them say, if one bad apple spoils the whole bunch.
Whole bunch. It's very serious. Talk about the real estate, that you see, the changes in the landscape.
Yes, the real estate is serious, beloved. It's like every day, not even every year no more. It's like every day, the price of real estate has been going up. in 2007 when we went to Ghana, land, you could get land if you could at the time, because it was still always scheming and all them things are going on. You could get land for $500, $1,000 today, because with the influx of the expats going in to the continent and going into Ghana specifically, the prices, because now people are going in with US dollars. And people are seeing these things and like, whoa, I can make a lot of money here. I used to I could have sold my land for 500 before I go and charge 5,000 now. So you look at 5,000% increase, So we have to be careful of those things as well, and make sure we find the people who legitimate people and upright people to purchase real estate from. But real estate is still available, land is still available in Ghana. But we need small bits and pieces of it. We don't want to take on too much and where we can't manage it.
Yes.
Take an acre and work it. Develop it.
I say that to ones, because a lot of ones in the West are like, we need land, and I'm saying land is not the issue. The issue is, what are we gonna do when we get the land? How do we develop it? How do we sustain it? Where is that capital coming from? And that's how we have to be thinking now from the West. Land is not the issue in Africa. You can
Definitely
get land.
Definitely not. So as we talk about that and we talk about repatriation, you have to be strategic.
Yes.
You have to have a vision, you have to have a mission, you have to have an objective, your methodology, and tactical application. I have a term that I coined called PACE. Practical application, carefully executed, PACE.
Okay.
So we have to make sure we carefully execute these plans. We don't just jump into things willy-nilly and bite off more than we can chew. We take it bit by bit, incremental steps, baby steps, until we can walk.
A lot of ones say, if I go to Africa, I'm never coming forward. So them just in the West, And I, I encourage ones, visit first. I don't encourage ones to just blindly pack up and go to Africa, because Africa will spit you out if you go there and think it's a fantasy. You're going to Zion in the sky. It's not one of them places there. It's a bustling place, just like if you were going to move to Jamaica and you think you're going to Sandals Resort and you're going to be rudely awakened, of the realities of surviving day to day. Give thanks, Ghana is one of the safest countries on the planet. In terms of violence, that's not the issue, but you still have to prepare yourself. Talk about those people who say that once they go to Africa, they're not coming back, so they're not preparing themselves. No,
I wouldn't encourage that. It's if you can, it's okay. If you're financially stable, because wherever you go, you're going to need finances. It's money runs the world. Nobody go and just. All right. I went in Ghana in 2007. I met a few ones that were down on their luck. They came to Ghana and they settled, and I guess maybe they didn't have thought out this plan before they went, But I encourage ones to think about it, plan ahead, have a strategy, be strategic, have write down these 6 things, your vision, your mission, your objectives, the methodology, how you going to get your finances, how you going to maintain yourself while you're there, and then also the tactics you're going to use, the strategy you're going to use, to maintain yourself,
Yes. Big up follow Ras Shamon in the place. Big up yourself. Big Mill, big up yourself, Rastafari. I know me elder. This is your niece, Pace. supporting
Practical
their...
application, carefully executed.
Yeah, man, it's serious. It's serious. I really again give thanks. We're in a little bit of overtime. The time just blow by so fast, family. But I'm a brethren, my family, big brother, all those things. You know what I mean? When you talk about Brother John and I, you know, as we say, we plan together. We strategize together. And it's because he's a brethren that deal with execution, you know, get things done. And again, I'm an actionist, you know. I coined that term there as an actionist because I like action. You know, I don't like to just talk about things. I get excited about Rastafari trad, but not the theory as much as the practical application of the trad, because my experience has been that it's real, you know, and I can test it out because I've been on the battlefield over 20 years and Rastafari never feel one day I would be a liar if I come in front of the people on the good internet and tell you say Rastafari ever feel you know what I mean, it'd be a lie. So but it takes action, it takes hard work, it takes discipline. It's not easy. The item I've seen I here 3 years with this platform, 29 people in the Patreon. It's not easy, you know what I mean? But the consistency, if you believe in something, you have to stay with it, you know what I mean? And whether it's Lion Voice Network, whether it's, you know, you're a mechanic, whether it's whatever you do, you build houses, whatever it is that is your passion, it's going to take consistency and it's going to take that focus. What does the I see yourself moving forward? I know Spicy Delight, they paused for renovation, so it's no longer open. But there is a whole horizon in front of the eye. You know, we reason about it, but in terms of the I passion right now, what is the I see yourself in terms of in Ghana? How do I see the I moving forward?
Yes, I give thanks to that. You know, with the Queen being gone to the ancestral realm, and you know, she was 95% of everything that we do. I'm just 5%, if that much, to be honest with you, you know, because she was the backbone of everything. You know, she was the leader. You know, and I allowed her to lead because she's a good leader. You know, and it's my talk about leadership. You know, a good leader must be able to follow.
Yes.
So I was able to follow this great leader. You know, and one of the things that she left with is said that stay on the mission. You know, and the mission is to accomplish that goal that we set out to do, is to develop what we're doing in Africa. We build a home, build a business, and whatever it takes to sustain ourselves there. So that is the mission and that is the goal. And we will stick to it. We want to stay on the mission. The youths them are willing to do the same. All the youth them, the young man them, you know, them already say, yo, pops, stay on the mission. Let's do this. You know, Spice the Light is under renovation, as the I say. So if it is the will of His Majesty, if it is His will, then we will, you know, move forward accordingly. But for right now, like I tell a friend of mine, my days design themselves. So we wait on the I-niversal design, and we just fit into it, oh, His Majesty. Because if you do that, you know, if you're spiritual enough, the Most High will align Himself to you and in you and move you to the path where you need to be and move you strategically to get to that goal. Because we're smart, we're wise, you know what I mean? We have common sense, you know what I mean? So we know how to move strategically.
Yeah, man.
You know? So that's where it is, my beloved. You know?
We give thanks for that. And we are working, as I say, with idor. We're working on the creation of a global skills bank. We'll have more information on that, and a repatriation summit to bring together some of the stakeholders globally, because this repatriation plan, this historical movement, it has to come from I. We cannot expect a foreign government to sit down and tell us how the return is going to look. You know, we can't depend on even our African governments to say this is how we have to shape. You know, as Maisy said, we have to act now to shape events, you know, as they slip into history. And you know, idor has been uniquely positioned. We have great relationships with all of the different Rastafari organizations, mansions. So these are the true conversations myself, Brother John, Dr. Mama Walete, the Chasmach, Georgis, Ras Naya, Bingi Carlton, all of the idor board members. You know, we are trying to be diligent to put these things together. What would you like to see from idor from a presidential viewpoint in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, idor, I think idor stands at a very unique place in our history as a Rastafari organization today because of its non-aligned status, you know, very unique. So idor is in a position that it can pull people in from every mansion, you know, to build a collective. You know, you and I reason of a welcoming center.
Yes.
In Ghana recently, you know. So I could start right there, you know. We purchase some land and have the community through idor as non-aligned organization to be the facilitator of that welcome center. A welcome center where our goodies from across the globe, the diaspora, wants to come to Ghana and come to Africa. And this is something that we will expand. But we'll start, like we said, small. We pace ourselves, practical occupation, carefully executed. So we start in Ghana with a welcome center. The community, through idor, as the fiduciary, will be the financier to that building of that welcome center. And if every Rastafari goodie across the globe would commit $1 monthly, right, to this project, then we can see it, the fulfillment of it, open up the doors so we can house people who, when they come, they have a place to stay, you know what I mean, and a place to launch themselves from.
Yes, get skills training.
Get the training there. We have Cassie there already.
Language acquisition.
Train them into the language.
Classes. Yes.
You know? So that's what I see for idor for the next 5 years and into the future. You know, is to create that model.
Yes.
You know, so we can scale it across the African continent.
Mighty vision. Family, this is a visionary. This is Brother John Senior from out of Spanish Town. I know the whole of Spanish Town proud tonight. Got them say, yeah man, Brother Johnny Ghana foreign, and you know, go on with some great things, great example. Big up all of the Spanish Town family them. Give us some final words, son. We gone a half an hour over our time. I want to thank everyone who's watching live, the hundreds who will watch on the replay. This was a special one for I tonight because we said with families here. This is not the last time. Get used to Brother John. Will be bringing him forward. He's been on the platform before on panels, but we're going to be bringing him forward. Brother John will be in Africa with I this year too. So you'll see some footage of him on the ground. We're going into Ghana to get some work done. So stay tuned on the platform. We have an exciting future in the midst of all of the chaos and the upheaval that's happening globally. Be sure and be convinced and know that Rastafari is coming together. The like minds are connecting. This is one of the reasons that I jumped into the media space, is because I knew how critical it would be to have a platform where we can get out information, where we can control our own narrative. That's why we say the time has come for the Lions to tell our own story, because we don't want to be dependent on BBC, NBC, CNN, all of these to tell us what Rastafari is and what we're doing, or we depend on entertainment programs to interview artists, and then we look to the artists to shape, how we look at Rastafari. That to I was unacceptable. And so we had to step into the media space, following the example of Marcus Garvey, who launched a Negro World, following the example of His Majesty, who imported a printing press and launched a newspaper, several newspapers as Rastafari. So the media, I when I see our great leaders, they always invest in media. And I'm asking the global family, invest in this platform so we can accelerate the rate of growth, so we can go to the spaces. Because one thing I want to do right now is really document our elders, that generation that is passing from us right now, in high definition 4K footage, so that their testimonies will live on as we go into the continent. These African youths, remember that most of Africa is 17 years old, the median age in Africa is 17. So we want to preserve particularly our elders in Jamaica who went through that great tribulation. We want to document those and have it on a platform like YouTube, so that the African youths them can get the essence from those who trod, because a lot of these countries are still persecuting Rastafari for different things. So a lot of struggles still have to fight on the continent as well. But we want them to be able to say to their parents, look, mommy, Rastafari is not just smoking and reggae. Look, there's a Rastafari attorney, there's a Rastafari doctor, there's an architect, there's a civil engineer, you know what I mean? So they can show these examples. There's an educator, doctor, so-and-so, you know what I mean? So this is why we are pushing Rastafari independent, non-aligned media. And again, we're asking our family, support us. Join up in the Lion Pride on Patreon, do the monthly subscription. If you don't want to do the monthly, support us with the one-time contribution and become part of the Ubuntu Lion Pride. I would like to be full-time in this work. I do have a full-time job right now, so we still put in the work. It's difficult for outwork the Chasmatch Kwasi. I tell the item that you can try if you want to.
That is so true.
But it's because of the passion, it's because of the passion, and because we are confident in the victory. So join us. All right, Brother John, give us your final word sound, and let us know any way they ones can support any works that they want to bring attention to, and we will bring the eye forward. I have to be careful, Brother John, not too on technology, no Instagram. The technology is not Brother John thing, but I know he have a lot of causes and things where it requires the same way. So just give us a final sound, and then all ones can support something with the eye do.
But as the I say, we are the generation that lives through great tribulation.
Yes.
So I would be remiss if I don't mention one of the ancients of Spanish Town, Brother Ras I, and I being the elder. You know, still in Spanish Town doing his thing. So blessed I, mighty joy. And so, you know, we talk about harnessing the power of our story, Black story.
Yes.
You know, harnessing means to collect the power, the ability to do on our story, imaginary or real. So you know, I full encourage ones to look at 5 things that we can do to help us harness that and to harness the truth for ourselves so we can move forward into the future with not fairy tales and lies, but real truth. So 5 things that we need to look at is timeline, people, events, place, and literature.
Break that down.
So the timeline is the chronology and representation. You know what I mean? And the people is the group of people that have common interest and we can link together. The place is the location, and the location we're talking about Ethiopia, Africa, Kemet. So we need to study these things, study the people, study the timeline, and study the place. Literature are events, you know, if the coronation of His Imperial Majesty and Her Majesty, the birth of Haile Selassie, events. Study those events, you know, and you'll have more clarity in your duty and what you need to do as an individual. And 5, literature, a collection of written works, poetry, Aesop, hieroglyphs, you know, the sacred writings, the words of gods. You know what I mean? So these are some of the things that we need to align ourselves with if we need to move forward into the future positively. And for the works that I recommend that I support, and I recommend that I family support the Lion's Voice. You know, I'm yet to support, you know, so I'm publicly saying this right now. I'm yet to support, you know. I know my brethren know that, and my brethren know who I am, you know. So if no, I'm going to get I support them. I always have support. It's just that I haven't financially supported my brother yet.
Yes,
but that is coming. You know,
don't have to question or doubt or
no, you don't know that. You don't know that. So, but I encourage the ones to support the Lion's Voice, because we need this non-aligned Rastafari media, so we can come out there without bias and still tell the story the real way. So let the lions and the lioness roar and tell their story, Rastafari.
Give thanks, give thanks. I couldn't have said it any better, family. Collective security for surety. And I know it's trauma why more of I have not supported I, because I have so many close brethren and sisters, just like Brother John, who say they are going to support, and I know that it's coming. So I don't have no fear. This is why I can be so confident to give my time to this endeavor, because I know it will succeed. But I'm just saying, make case and support the thing.
Send on the thing.
Me know said it's coming, but send it on. Don't wait too long. Because again, my concern is just documentation of the Asians. You know, myself, Brother John, you know, anyone in leadership right now, we almost have to become numb because of the news that we get almost every strong. We hear in the next Asian pass, another elder sick and require, you know, care. We are the ones behind the scenes that are trying to jump around and make sure that things are done and care is given. And, you know, so for my part, you know, I mean, I know that these are archives that we're losing, you know what I mean? Histories, you know, when you talk about Brother John, I talk about £1 was so much money, and you get to hear the story from Brother John mouth. My children don't know nothing about Jamaica have a pound and this and that. That don't exist, you know what I mean? So if we don't capture these histories from the ones that live the history, we're doing a great disservice. Because yes, you can read in a book and thing, but there's nothing like hearing from someone who has lived and experienced what they went through, you know, the little gems of wisdom that they're going to drop, and then you can go and connect the dots. So that's my concern, why We want the funding so we can go on site. Most of the elders now go click a StreamYard link. They don't have a smartphone. They're up in some Wissy jungle or some garrison communities or, rural Jamaica. You have to go to them and bring camera and thing and sit down with them. So those are the works we want to do. And not just Jamaica, in St. Lucia, all throughout the Caribbean. We just lost Jabones, our great elder in Antigua, who was, with Nana Faraika at the Pan-African, the OAU conference in Tanzania in 1974, and we were working with him at the time. I was trying to get him to interview for this platform, and unfortunately his technology went out and then he actually ended up passing. So we miss. And this brethren lived in DC, organized with Kwame Ture and one, but Kojo Nandi went down to his funeral, you know what I mean? And these are legendary brethren and them just passing, and we're not documenting properly. And maybe they have some documents somewhere, but they're not accessible to the public easily, So that's why with Lion Voice Network, we want to make sure we go and document it and it can live on YouTube where everyone around the world can access it, you know what I mean? So family, join us on this mission. I'm passionate. That's why you hear me keep on saying it, because I know it's going to take time. We've got to overcome the trauma that prevents us from helping each other. But I'm willing to build your trust by doing the work, and we'll continue to do the work. Make sure you go and watch our Janine interview. Full interview is dropping on Friday, the full episode for Janine. We just dropped the Tippy I grade reasoning today. Make sure you go watch the Tippy I grade. One of our great selectors, the brethren, went to Yale and Harvard and leave all of them think they fit trad Rastafari. Powerful story. Tippy I grade, he was an Olympic swimmer. You know what I mean? We get all of them story there. Powerful testimonies from the children of Rastafari. So support the platform. Why? Because the time has come for the lions to tell our own story. And this is the Lion Voice. Roar.
Tippy I, the time has come for the lions to tell our own story. You're listening to the Lion's Voice blog. Respect and love from St. Croix VI to the world. Rastafari.
The time has come for the lioness to tell her own story.
This is Plug Events and time have come for the lion to tell their own story. This is the Lion's Voice. Stay tuned.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the Lion's Voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari, live it. Hey, the Lion's Voice, Rastafari.
Greetings, this is Warrior King, and the time has come for the lions and the lioness to tell their own story. This is the Lion's Voice. Give thanks and praise for the wonderful blessing that's been poured on me. Give thanks and praise. Jah use I as an instrument to set the people free. Jah give her the powers to chant. Jah give her the powers to chant. Rastafari, the Lion's Voice.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jaja soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up Lion's Voice. Now put it, I Jolly for say that.
Now drop your guard when it come to them, ya youth, yeah. Them fully guard up and them quick fi execute, yeah. Now drop your guard when it come to them, ya youth, yeah. The one will laugh, I'm same one of the shooter. Watching them, this is Rastafari representing for the Lion Voice Network. This is the time when the lion gets to tell our own story. I Haile Selassie I.
I'm Nana Faraika. The time has come for the lioness to tell her story from her viewpoint. and tell the world who Queen Omega is. This is the lion's voice.
Yeah, David Dread of Steel Person. I'm saying hail to the lion voice because it's time that the lion have its voice, have its own story. Says I'm stepping out here. Hear me now. Yeah, the lion's voice. Raw.
Well, lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion voice.